Good afternoon, everyone. This is your Monday afternoon briefing for the weather coming up tomorrow through the rest of the week. So the main threat to today or this week will be heavy rain. That'll be tomorrow evening, afternoon through Wednesday will be the highest rain rates. But that threat pretty much exists for Thursday, and those rain totals will range from 3 to 8 inches, with some locally higher amounts possible, especially across southern portions or south of I-20. As a result of that, we have significant elevated risk for flash flooding through around those same areas. We have a graphic coming up which will highlight that a little bit more clearly. And then finally, we have a marginal risk for severe for tomorrow afternoon. And that will be across southwest portions of the region. And finally, our rivers remain in minor to moderate flood stages across the area. So this is the graphic I mentioned earlier. This is our heavy rainfall and flooding graphic. So this is especially concentrated through our southwestern areas where we're expecting 4 to 8 inches with locally heavier amounts possible. This will result in widespread flash flooding, numerous road closures, and some structures flooding. Outside of that to the northeast there, we have an elevated threat, which we're expecting 3 to 6 inches of rainfall, locally heavy amounts possible, and again, some road will be closed along with some structures flooding. And then to our our northern third or so, we have a limited threat for flooding, and we're only expecting in air quotes there, up to 3 inches of rain in those areas with our lowest amounts to the northeast. And the timing for this will be late Tuesday through Thursday, mainly Tuesday night though. All right, so this is the most likely rainfall amounts that we're likely to see from our official forecast here. This goes through the Thursday morning, right? So we're looking at totals 3 to 5 inches, 3 to 6 throughout the southwest, again, where that graphic highlighted, 2 to 4, in the orange area there, and then finally about up to 3 inches elsewhere in the region. This is the highest amount that's reasonable that we can expect for tomorrow. And again, we're looking tomorrow through Thursday, I apologize. So we're looking at, again, a max of 6 inches around Macomb. And I do want to highlight while we're on this particular graphic that our rainfall totals for an hour to hour could be very substantial. 3 to 4 inches over an hour is going to be possible at some of these locations, especially to our southwest. So bear that in mind. It is going to be very high rain rates for some of these southwestern areas and at some points in time. Again, that stratifies out towards Columbus, where we're expecting our lowest rainfall amount of up to 2.5 inches. That's at the extreme end. This is our percent chance of greater than 4 inches, really driving that home. Again, areas south of I-20 are highlighted. And percent chance greater than 6 inches, we do have chances mainly south and along I-20 for greater than 6 inches. Now we're moving on to our severe threat. Timing for this will be late Tuesday afternoon, essentially into the evening. That will run from Arkansas, our counties in Arkansas, all the way down to Laurel there, Mississippi. And all of the typical elements that you expect with severe weather are on tap. That includes damaging winds, hail up to a quarter size, and tornadoes can't be ruled out. I know that we say that for a lot of these things, but the helicity values tomorrow look pretty indicative of good organized convection. So a tornado can't be ruled out, especially when these cells coalesce and get organized. These are the current river stages and where we're forecasting to go the next week. As you can see here, Mississippi River from Greenville down to Natchez, pretty much in flood stage, moderate to action, and that is going to have a slow fall through the week, but still remain in either action, minor, or moderate flooding. We're going to see rises in the Yazoo and Big Black River basins, pretty substantial rises of up to 10, 12 feet, some of these areas. So some of these are not going to change stage at all. Yazoo River's not going to rise a whole lot, so that'll still be minor flooding. However, the Big Black near Bovonia, Bentonia, and at West are going to see big jumps, giving us our moderate flood stages. Finally, this is the Upper Pearl and Omechito River Basin. They're also expected to rise, not quite, I was going to say not quite as big, but really it is quite as big as our previous slide there. So we're going to be going into minor flood stage for Pearl River, Omechito, and Tuscaloosa Creek. All right, so this really displays and maps out the diurnally driven weather pattern or weather regime through the rest of the week. So tomorrow, these thunderstorms and convective activity, showers, things like that will start in the afternoon. They will get stronger as the day progresses into the evening, and after nightfall, we'll still see remnant thunderstorms all the way up until basically, really, really late Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. Throughout the rest of the week, with that driving on that diurnally driven pattern, we're going to see thunderstorms in the afternoon for the most part, and then those will wane as sunset happens, and then overnight we'll just see some scattered showers and remnants of a thunderstorm here or there. And the rain rates, I do want to point out, really drop off after Wednesday, so we're not looking at anything too crazy as far as heavy rain or flash flooding to the later end of the week, but there will be precip possible at every hour and every day for the next week, it looks like. There is some shot for the western parts of the CWA, basically west of I-20. Could see a break in the wind over the weekend and into early next week, but I wouldn't hold your breath about it. But the western half does slowly start to drop off those precip probabilities. Speaking of precip probabilities, so just wanted to highlight that the primary focus is going to be Tuesday night, Wednesday morning with this rain and convective activity. And again, diurnally driven every day or every afternoon, we're going to see those showers and thunderstorms begin to really spread and spread and rise essentially in coverage. Sorry, I lost my words there for a second. And then as the sun sets, those showers begin to dwindle and they'll just be scattered. And our temperature is going to be pretty mild next week. We don't even hit 80, or we do at a couple of sites briefly. But we're looking at temperatures ranging from 70 to 80 during the daytime and bottoming out in the low 60s just before sunrise. So in summary, heavy rain threat will be the primary concern. Late Tuesday through Thursday, expecting 3 to 8 inches of rain with some locally higher amounts possible, especially across the southern half of the region. We do have a significant and elevated risk for flash flooding for that same time period. And I almost forgot to mention we do have a flood watch currently out from about Ashland and Chico, Arkansas, all the way down to Lauderdale County, Mississippi. So that will be in effect for that same time period, that flood watch. There is a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms Tuesday afternoon into the evening, and that is going to be concentrated around our southwest portions. And then finally, rivers remain in minor to moderate flood stages across the area. We do have Hurricane Preparedness Week coming up, just as a quick aside, so you may be getting some information about that if you are one of those individuals that we do reach out to convey this kind of stuff. So just be aware of that. Keep an eye on your inboxes. And finally, is our contact information. That concludes the briefing. Y'all have a wonderful week.